welcome again. During this video, we're gonna finish today's class speaking about the SWOT framework, the SWOT analysis. As you can see in this image, we have seen both in the previous class and in today's class, the macro environment and the micro environment and the company itself. The macro environment regarding the macroeconomic factors that could affect the company, the micro environment regarding the industry or the sector of each company, and the company itself focus on the strategic capabilities of each company. Well, the SWOT analysis, the SWOT framework, summarizes the key issues of both the business environment and the strategic capabilities of any company. This is a very important tool in strategic management in order to know what's going to be the best strategy of the company. So it's a very important tool in the strategy development of the company, and it's very important to know what factors do we have to take in account by performing a SWOT analysis. As usual, you can find here a definition. SWOT analysis is a method for analyzing a business, its resources, and its environment. Of course, SWOT is an acronym of strengths of the company, the weaknesses of the company, the opportunities of the company, and the threats of the company. As you can see in this image, both the strengths and weaknesses refers to internal aspects of the company, and both opportunities and threats refers to has an external origin. So they are out of the company. We can also say that a SWOT analysis explores the relationship between the environment influences and the strategic capabilities of the organization compared with its competitors, and that's the reason why the SWOT analysis is a very important tool. It is said that the SWOT analysis is useful mainly for these four goals. First of all, to discover what the business does better than the competition, to be aware of the strengths of the company. Secondly, to discover what competitors do better than the business is both a weaknesses and opportunity. Third, to discover whether the business is making the most of the opportunities available. And finally, how business should respond changes in the external environment. It's important to take in account that when performing a SWOT analysis, when you have written down the strengths and the weaknesses, a strength should be exploited and the weaknesses should be improved. And opportunities and threats may have arisen from the PESEL analysis that we saw when performing the macro environmental analysis 2 classes ago. And moreover, you have to take in account that strengths and weaknesses are both of them are internal and relate to the present situation, and both opportunities and threats, they are external to the business and relate to changes in the environment. In this slide, you can find a sample of the SWOT analysis, the things that SWOT analysis has to consider: the strengths, the weaknesses, the opportunities, and the threats. Let's consider that, as we spoke, the strengths and weaknesses are within the company, are internal aspects, and both opportunities and threats are external aspects. This is super important. And both strengths and opportunities could be considered as a positive aspect, and weaknesses and threats as negative aspects. Just as an example, some strengths, some advantages, the financial reserves, the accreditation, competitive advantages, etc., the capabilities, location and geographic, innovative aspects, the resources, the marketing, etc. Just for naming several weaknesses: the lack of competitive strength, the cash flow, startup cash drain, the high cost structure, etc. Just we are going to name 2 opportunities: the market developments, for example, competitors' vulnerabilities, nice target market, new markets, vertical or horizontal, business and product development, etc. And then some threats, environmental effects, market demand, or obstacles. This is a generic SWOT, and of course, then you have to adapt depending on the concrete sector, the concrete industry, and the concrete company. We are going to see in the next slide an example of a thorough SWOT analysis. Just as an example, we can read here a SWOT analysis of Zara. Zara is the main brand of Inditex, which is one of the biggest Spanish companies. It's one of the biggest textile groups in the world. For example, we are going to name just some strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, or threats. For example, Zara is one of the largest fast fashion retailers in the world. It has global presence, brand awareness, etc. One of the weaknesses, for example, is e-commerce that is not available in many markets, including South Africa. Producing close to their Spanish headquarters is more costly than manufacturing in Asia, for example. We can read some opportunities, prevalence of the e-commerce worldwide, increasing sustainability, or finally some threats, other strong competitors, for example, H&M, Topshop. H&M is perceived by consumers to be more affordable, competitors have larger product offering, etc. So this is just an example of SWOT analysis of a very big company. Finally, you can find here a couple of another examples of strengths: reputation in marketplace, expertise at partner level in HRM consultancy, some example of weaknesses, shortage of consultants at operating level rather than partner level, unable to deal with multidisciplinary assignments, a couple of opportunities, well-established positions with a well-defined market niche, identify market for consultancy in areas than HRM, or some threats, large consultancies operating at minor level, other small consultancies looking to invade the marketplace. When we speak about strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats, we have to start by making us some questions about the company we are analyzing. We have to wonder several questions, and then the strengths or the weaknesses are going to arrive. For example, in the case of strengths, we have to wonder what advantages does the organization have, what do you do better than anyone else, what unique or lower cost resources can the company draw upon that others can't, what do people in your market see as your strengths, what factors mean that you get the sale, or what is your organization's unique selling point. You have to consider the strengths from both an internal perspective and from the point of view of your customers or your clients. And finally, we have to consider that when you look at your strengths, you have to watch your strengths in relation with your competitors. For example, if all your competitors provide high quality products, then to provide high quality products is not a strength, it's more or less a necessity of such concrete sector or industry. So all the SWOT analysis has to be doing according or watching the competitors. In order to analyze the weaknesses of a company, again, you have to wonder several things. For example, what could you improve? What should you avoid? What are your customers likely to see as a weaknesses? Or what factors lose your sales? Again, you have to consider it from an internal and external basis. For example, do other people seem to perceive weaknesses that you don't see? Are your competitors doing any better than you? The best option here is to be realistic and to face any problems or to face any unpleasant truths as soon as possible. And once you have admitted such problem, you are going to be able to solve it, but you cannot solve it until you detect it as a weaknesses. To speak about opportunities within a company related with the SWOT analysis, we have to consider several questions. For example, what good opportunities can you find? What interesting trends are you aware of? Useful opportunities usually can come from such different things. For example, changes in technology and markets, changes in the government policy related to your field or your industry, or changes in social patterns, population profiles, lifestyle changes, etc. And finally, again, in order to speak about threats within a concrete company, you have to wonder several questions in order to perform the SWOT analysis. For example, what obstacles do you face? What are your competitors doing? Are quality standards or specifications changing? Is changing technology threatening your positions? Do you have bad debt or cash flow problems? Could any of your weaknesses seriously threaten your businesses? And here you can find one little tip. When you are looking for opportunities and threats, the PESEL analysis, this is the macro environment analysis, could be useful so that you do not overlook external factors. Okay, so you have to focus on things within the company, because the SWOT analysis is related, is focused on the company, not in external factors. And here we are gonna see a small video about the SWOT analysis of Starbucks. Okay, this is just an example of how you have to perform a SWOT analysis. If you remember from the first class, we put Starbucks as an example of what things companies do not have to do it related with corporate social responsibility, but Starbucks company has a lot of strengths and it's a great company, and here you can find both positive aspects and both weaknesses and threats.
Okay, great. So in this lesson, our goal would be to apply the SWOT framework in practice. Shouldn't be that difficult, right? The company we'll examine is Starbucks, the well-known U.S. coffee company and coffeehouse chain. It was founded in Seattle in 1971 and operates in several countries around the world. Let's start with the company's strengths. First, almost everyone knows its brand, right? So it definitely has a strong brand recognition. Starbucks has been proclaimed the most recognized coffee brand in the world, quite an advantage regarding other companies in the industry. The firm's brand is one offering of a differentiated product to customers, which is coherent with its strategy and pricing. Clients have expressed they love the atmosphere in Starbucks coffee houses. They can use free Wi-Fi and enjoy the coffee drinking experience to the fullest. The company owns thousands of outlets around the world, and its clients can find it even when traveling overseas. That's a strong advantage, as it ensures loyal clients can remain such even overseas. And finally, Starbucks supply chain management ensures the quality of coffee served to customers is excellent. The company chooses its suppliers carefully, which improves the quality of its products and ensures clients receive a super coffee experience. This is another choice in sync with its differentiation strategy. Okay, very good. Let's take off our rosy glasses and consider some of the firm's weaknesses. One could argue Starbucks offers the same product in all countries where it operates. It does not customize it according to the different tastes of people in different geographies. For some customers, this is an issue, and they prefer competitor products tailored to their specific geographical preferences. In addition, Starbucks has a premium price policy, which is not in line with most customers' expectations. Not all countries have enough middle and high-income class individuals who can afford to pay extra for their coffee. Weakness number 3 would be the high employee turnover that the chain's coffee shops have. It is difficult to serve coffee as a premium product when the company's baristas have been on the job for only a couple of weeks. In terms of opportunities, we can say the following. Starbucks can access new countries easily. It simply has to apply its existing business model in these new geographies. Emerging markets can be a great source of growth for the company. Starbucks has also entered agreements within the entertainment industry and partnered with movie-producing companies. That can be a great opportunity for the firm, too. One of the biggest threats for Starbucks is the saturation of the American market, which is where most of its outlets are located. Consumers are increasingly invested in healthier lifestyle, and some substitute products are better positioned to capture the attention of the health-conscious clientele. Okay, we'll stop here. This is what a SWOT analysis looks like in practice. The depth of the observations included in the analysis depends on the information we have about the company. I'm sure an industry practitioner would be capable to prepare a much deeper analysis. However, the important point is you now know how to perform a SWOT analysis on your own, and you can distinguish the important questions from the rest when it comes to analyzing a company. SWOT analysis is a great tool that allows us to visualize and concentrate on some of the most important topics when analyzing a company. This will do for now. Thanks for watching.
Once we have made a SWOT analysis or the SWOT framework, we can focus the discussion on future strategic choices. So to sum up, we can say that a SWOT analysis or the SWOT framework is a very useful tool used in strategic management to help focus the discussion on future strategic choices. And we are going to finish the SWOT analysis by just naming two main mistakes in doing SWOT analysis. First of all, the SWOT exercise can generate very long list of apparent strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats, but you have to take in account what is really matters. Okay, you have to separate and be clear about what is really important and what is less important. So it's not about doing long list, it's about focus on what's really important for a company. And another typical mistake is that there is a danger of over generalization. That means that you have to be concrete, you have to be specific to that specific sector, industry, and company. You cannot tell general things, and you have to be accurate. In all for today, I just like to remind you that you have to send me, please, on before April the 17th, before this Friday, a first draft of the written case analysis, okay, consisting in the industry analysis and two companies' strategies comparison. So it's not the written case analysis, it's just a first draft. You have just to write me the industry that you have selected, the two companies that you have selected, and some general guidelines of the written case analysis, okay? And you have to submit please before or in April the 17th, so this Friday. Thank you very much, students, and I'll see you on next Wednesday during the 5th class. Thank you.